and welcome back to Ship of Fools, a nautical D&D actual play podcast. My name is Hannah McLean, and I am, as always, your dungeon master on this nautical adventure. Joining me today, I have Andy Latai.
Finn Fisher.
Nolani Stevenson.
I'm Regin Stockweather.
And Taylor Wallace.
Malachi Kassir.
And we are back on the Lunluma Ocean. Let's do a little bit of a recap before we dive into episode 60. So, last session, the party found themselves regrouping outside of an aboleth's lair, along with the 4 merfolk that you rescued who had been, taken in by the aboleth's charm.
It makes it sound like he seduced them.
Charm parentheses magical.
I was simply so taken in by his charm. What was I to do?
Yeah.
He made a very compelling case for murdering everyone.
You regrouped with the merfolk, who insisted that you come with them back to the underwater metropolis of Nephthys.
That's with a PH.
You agreed, since it was sort of on your way, and since they told you that there were other followers of the Lurker who dwelled there. So you made your way to the great underwater city, built into a coral reef, populated mostly by merfolk and Triton. You reported the aboleth sighting to the guards of the city, and then made your way over to the temple district, where Finn, for the first time ever, laid eyes on a house of worship devoted to his father, the Lurker in the Deep. You met Ta, the priest there, as well as Mela, who is an apprentice or acolyte of some sort. I don't know if you've fully gotten her, official title or anything like that.
I gotta remember to ask for her resume.
When you explained the situation to Ta, he let you know that the cult of the Lurker, which protects the Lurker's dwelling place, is already aware of the High Priestess's presence in the Aberrant Sea and is monitoring the situation, or something like that. Mela is going to take you tomorrow out to where the cult of the Lurker dwells, so that you can meet up with them and figure out what needs to be done. In the meantime, you went out to see a little bit of Nephthys, making your way to the marketplace, where you were somewhat startled to see a familiar face, as you encountered Ben, who you have not seen in quite some time since the disastrous, quote-unquote, rescue from Retval's lab. You confronted him, had some bantering back and forth, got some frustratingly cryptic non-answers out of him, before he vanished in a shimmer of light. So that's where we're picking up now.
Well, hold on. What exactly did he look like when he vanished in a shimmer of light?
Before Finn turned him into a snail, and then that snail vanished in a shimmer of light, so that we are 100% clear on the order of events there. As the snail vanishes, the 4 of you, the 3 of you and Mela, are standing in the somewhat shaded corner of a pretty crowded bar. There are definitely, throughout this whole confrontation, there have been people kind of sneaking glances at you. As you are, very clearly land dwellers, you sort of automatically draw attention. And so people have already been sneaking glances at you, and then the somewhat conspicuous man suddenly turning into a snail and then vanishing definitely drew more attention. Merfolk from all over the bar are sort of looking over, drinks in hand, no longer trying to hide the fact that they're openly gawking at whatever you guys are doing.
Snails, am I right? They're always doing that.
Jedi business. Go back to your drinks.
Mm-hmm. Someone make a deception check for me.
I don't think I lied.
Deception?
I don't think I lied either.
I would allow persuasion, I guess.
No, I prefer deception.
The deception is for there's nothing interesting happening.
So that is 29 deception.
Okay. Cool. Finn, you sort of shake the snail residue off your hands, and turn, and kind of wave the crowd off, and people sort of chuckle awkwardly and, raise their glasses to you, and,
Next show's at 11.
allow the situation to be diffused.
I do a jazz square.
Everybody loves a jazz square.
The merfolk who can't do jazz squares are very impressed.
So
Demonstrate the things that can be accomplished when you have two legs.
They can just sort of swim in a square.
Yeah. Mela kind of crosses her arms and is looking between you guys and is like, okay, what was the deal there? Is anyone gonna fill me in?
Sorry you had to see that. So there's like a whole other thing going on. There's this lady, we used to work for her and now we don't. She's probably evil, maybe? Definitely opposed to us. She's trying to seize godhood and that guy works for her.
Okay, so that was like an ex-coworker?
Yeah, you could say that.
Do you turn all your ex-coworkers into snails?
Absolutely not.
No, just him.
Depends how bad they piss us off.
Okay. She's goes back to sort of like looking at the spot where Ben was with a sort of furrowed brow.
Don't worry about it, Melly. You'll be fine.
I didn't like disintegrate him though. That was something else. Someone else teleported him away.
Yeah, I could kind of tell by his like monologuing at the end there that there was something going on.
Oh, yeah, true. He's not the most subtle.
No. Okay, well, now that we've dealt with that, I guess, do you guys...
Good work, everyone!
Do you guys, like, need anything around in the market before we set off on this journey?
Nope.
Hey, Mal, how are we on healing potions?
I think we probably could use more.
I do not have any healing potions. I do have drugs, though.
Oh.
If we have money, we could use more, but I'm not sure how we are on money either.
I have 90 gold.
I have 143 gold, and then I think we have $400 worth of valuables.
Oh, yeah, we never pawned all that stuff.
Yeah.
And hey, maybe down here they're like rare artifacts from the surface.
Or maybe down here it's just like, oh yeah, I passed 10 of those rocks a day.
Well, where did you get these valuables? Do you happen to remember?
It was from the chest on the Solomon's Cove.
Got it.
I grab like a ruby from the stash and hold it up to Mela. Hey, what is this evoke in you? Special? Not special?
It's a ruby.
Okay.
We do, like, know what gemstones are.
Well, I just mean, like, are they as rare down here as they are up there?
Oh, yeah, like, if you sold them to someone, yeah, they're pretty valuable.
Oh, perfect.
Because they're, like, surface... Especially because, like, surface gems. Like, pearls, we've
Haha,
got
what'd
a
I
lot
say?
of those down here. But, you know, rocks and stuff like that, you have to go up or trade with someone from the surface, and it's a pain.
See, there you go.
Regin, do you have any money left?
Nar.
All right.
I think he spent it all on drugs.
All right.
I spent it all on drugs, tattoos, and brass knuckles.
All right.
So, do you guys want to do any, is there any supplies or healing potions or anything else that you want to try and pick up in the marketplace?
Yeah, I think we should get some healing items.
Yeah. You guys can take some time and sell the gemstones and stuff that you have, so you have a total of, whatever, 143 plus 90 plus 400.
We don't get a little extra value out of these being imported.
You can make me a persuasion check.
Rare and precious treasures from the surface world. 19.
Okay. Yeah, Finn, you spin your charm and argue that these are rare and precious artifacts from the surface world. And they are, like, there's some truth in it, for sure. And you manage to, like, find a less savvy merchant who doesn't do as much, like, business with the surface world and get him to give you 450 if you want to sell all of it, if you want to keep any of it in. The advantage of keeping gems instead of gold is that it's easier to carry around.
Yeah.
And also, I will say, down here, like, Nephthys appears to have a different system of currency going on than what you're used to on the surface. So you're having to deal with, like, exchanging surface money for... But if you sell your gems, then you can get it in, like...
For sand dollars.
Yeah, like sand dollars, sure. Then you could get it in Nephthys currency and then turn around and spend that on healing potions.
Are there any diamonds? If so, we should reserve diamonds. But otherwise, I'm not pressed about selling shit off.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you have, like, spell components that can be used in place of diamonds for Revivify. Otherwise, I'll say probably out of the 400 gems, like, 100 of them would be diamonds, specifically. So if you want to hold on to those, you can, but it's not enough for a whole Revivify with just those gems. Because you need 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds for a Vivify.
If there are any particularly, like, sexy and good-looking gems that are particularly entrancing, I'm going to take that one.
Yeah, for sure. What counts as
Hang
sexy
on.
and entrancing to Regin?
Probably something like Tiger's Eye.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you found a tiger's eye, like, when you guys, at some point while the treasure chest was on matte black, you went through and found the
Yes.
tiger's eye and pulled it out.
I put my little fingies in it.
He's building his hoard.
Shut up about my hoard. I don't have a hoard.
Hey, just because your hoard is small, it's nothing to be ashamed of, Regin.
We've gone through this.
I don't have a hoard.
Gotta start somewhere.
Shut up.
Cool. So, healing potions down here, are not liquid. They're like little, like, gummies that you eat, because having to, like...
Edibles?
Having to, like, uncork a healing potion and, like, get the liquid into your mouth, while you're underwater is inconvenient. And so people seem to have... The healing potion crafters down here seem to have innovated by making them edible instead. There's no mechanical difference. That's just so everyone's picturing it correctly. You can get the common 2d4 plus 2 ones for 50 gold pieces. 4d4 plus 4, the greater healing potions, are 100. And then superior, which is 8d4 plus 8, are 150.
So... Because we have healing resources, so maybe just a couple of the greater?
Okay.
I trust your judgment.
Or would we rather have, like, some of the littler ones just to be able to pop each other up if we need to?
What about 2 of the greater and then, like, 1 common?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Just to have.
Hell yeah, brother.
Cool.
I will keep the common on my person, just so that should Malachi go down, you may simply pour it into his throat.
Alright, so let's get 2 greater healing potions and then 1 common.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We fork over the money.
And you split those up. You give the common to Malachi and then 1 each of the greaters to Finn and Regin. Is that what happens?
I think so.
Yeah.
Excellent. You guys do your shopping, get your little healing potions. Is there anything else that you want to do or anything like that? Or are you ready to go back to the temple and go to sleep?
Is there anywhere that has, like, little Nephthys keychains or fridge magnets that I could just get?
Yeah, do they have cute little souvenir shops?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can get little, like, a little keychain with a kind of, like, cartoony depiction of the city with the sort of, like, gleaming white palace behind it all and
Perfect.
a bunch of little fish. There's, like, little, like, dangly things with fish and one of those giant spider crabs dangling from the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Hell yes. I buy that.
Awesome.
Wow. I can't wait to have keys someday.
Do they have any cute little, like, stress ball squishy toys, like a jellyfish or something?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's, like, a little jelly.
Like a little jellyfish where if you squeeze it, like, its tentacles flare out or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Malachi gets one of those.
Cool.
Well, that thing's not going to last a week.
Cool, you guys,
I can be gentle.
you get your supplies and your souvenirs.
Reagan, did you want anything?
No, I'm good, thanks, though.
You head back to the Temple of the Lurker.
At which point, Regin empties out his pockets and shows you all of the stickers he shoplifted.
Wow. Impressive that they have stickers underwater.
I know, that's why I had to take them.
Make your way back to the Temple of the Lurker. You do, like, as you approach the temple, you run into, like, a few merfolk coming out who greet Mela as kind of like, hello, Mela, like they know her. And Mela goes, this is Finn Fisher, son of the Lurker in the Deep. And they're all like, oh, wow. And,
Greetings!
like, very, like, excitedly shake your hand, Finn.
I shake him right back. Thalassic blessings upon you all.
And this older merfolk lady gives what, like, is sort of a curtsy, although she's a mermaid, so it's a little hard to tell exactly what's happening. But they're, like, very, very excited and starstruck to see you.
And I am loving it.
And then eventually Mela kind of, like, pushes you guys into the temple and is like, okay, goodbye. And yeah, you are back in the sort of muted darkness with the singular green flame that is the Lurker's temple. Ta comes out and ushers you all to the sort of, like, guest room, essentially, of the temple, the way that temples will have places for people to sleep. As we mentioned last episode, there aren't any real, like, beds. There's just sort of, like, pockets of water where you can see that there's some sort of, like, artificial current being created that sort of, like, keeps you in one place so you don't just drift away. So it's like you just sort of go into that patch of water and then either, like, lie down, like, horizontally or just sort of float there vertically and go to sleep.
Ugh.
And there's, like, room in here for all of you, although it is probably pretty disconcerting.
Malachi's got a vice grip on Finn.
Now this is gonna be a good night's sleep.
Reagan's back feels better than it has in decades.
Awesome. And you are all able to long rest, so go ahead and...
So two things. One, as we're lying in bed before I drift off to sleep, I do want to take out the book about the Lurker that I stole from Solaris a while back. And I will use shape water to create, like, a pocket of air around it so it doesn't instantly get disintegrated when I take it out.
Yep, for sure.
And I'm really excited. I got the Lurker on my mind, even more so than usual. And I just want to spend a little time flipping through this book, see if there's anything interesting to learn.
Yeah.
Before my big audience.
I don't know. You can make just a straight-up religion check to see if there's anything interesting that you don't already know.
8.
Yeah, you're just sort of, like, reading, and you've like looked through this book at various points in the past, so it's mostly stuff that you already knew, or it's stuff that, like, the author is writing about, like, oh, the Lurker in the deep, like, is said to live somewhere in the formless depths of the aberrant sea, and you're like, yeah, I know that, or it's, like, you know, associated with darkness and tentacles, and you're like, I know that also, but it is nice to just sort of, like, be reading over, and it's crazy this academic text written from the perspective of a surface dweller who's, like, pretty sure that the Lurker in the deep is real, but not really whether he should be treated as a god or, like, how powerful he is or how real or, like, corporeal he is, to be reading about that while you're, like, in this temple with this pervasive hum underneath you. Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Just good little before bed reading. Also, throughout the night, if any of you guys wake up, you can hear Finn snoring, but it sounds like...
I elbow Finn in the ribs. Oi, you're making eldritch pronouncements again. Stop.
Finn, this is really not adding to my ambiance here. Or rather, it is in a very negative way.
You look at Finn, and he's floating a little further up above the little current bed than either of you are, and his back is sort of arched and his arms outstretched. And he does not seem to hear you. He's sleeping very peacefully.
I lean over and I slap a breathe right nose strip on him.
Oh, gosh,
Nurkrab, by the way, Nurkrab is usually pretty unwilling to leave Finn's side, but seems to be, like, more comfortable in this temple, and so keeps, like, going out and scuttering around the rest of the temple. Like, he spends a long time kind of, like, perched at the edge of that green flame, like, staring into it. He, like, goes out and, like, seems to be looking at the, like, shifting, obscured murals on the wall, like he's, like, looking at them. Just generally keeps exploring like a contented cat, and then coming back to float in the room with you guys again.
Does he pinch any ankles?
Probably just your ankles, Malachi. But affectionately.
This is why they should make armor that covers your ankles.
Do they not?
Malachi's ass been running around in capri armor this whole time?
It's like, you know those jeans that have, like, this silly little triangle cut out?
My beloved.
It covers everything but the tendon. The very bottom.
Cool. Let me know when you're done long resting, and I will keep talking.
Give us 7 hours and 58 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. What wakes you up is that the hum gets, like, louder, like it's like a alarm, or something. You also probably hear, like, bells ringing throughout the city, like, from the other temples, and just generally, and you would have noticed this while going through Nephthys, that, like, because it is at the bottom of the ocean here, and there aren't a lot of, like, natural clues as to what time it is, there's lots of, like, clocks all over the place. There also are lots of, like, lights in the streets that seem to be set to be, like, dimmer at night and brighter during the day, kind of mimicking the normal rhythms of the sun that are presumably happening above you, although you haven't seen them in several days at this point.
Weird that you felt the need to specify there.
Yeah, just don't get too comfortable about what the sun is doing. You haven't seen it. Just want to make sure. You guys go back out into the main room of the temple. Mela is there looking, like, ready for travel. She has, like, a little, waterproof backpack.
Does she have things that can't get wet in her backpack? How did she get them in there?
I don't know.
Finn feels more refreshed than he has ever in his life.
Yeah, Ta gives you guys breakfast and is like, again, such an honor to have the son of the Lurker and the son of the Lurker's friends here, in my temple. I do hope that once you have vanquished this evil that threatens our great denizen of the deep, that you will, return here. We'll have a feast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Just, no seafood.
I'm sure we can figure something out. How do you feel about seaweed?
Oh, totally good. Yeah, plants are fine.
Okay. Certainly.
Finn, we talked about this.
Listen, Malachi, I'm just saying I don't want to eat fish at my feast, all right?
Isn't it your father's feast?
He doesn't really eat food in the conventional sense.
Have you ever seen your father not eat food, Findrew?
You know I've never seen my father!
Ta shakes all of your hands, shakes Finn's hand for, like, too long, shakes Nurkrab's claw.
Ouch.
And you guys can set out.
As we're walking out of the temple, Finn is saying to Mela, and then I was like, you better hope that story checks out, and bam, he was a snail.
She was there, right?
No, this is the first time. I'm telling her about Retval's lab.
Oh, okay.
She is, like, very interested in the story, and she keeps interrupting you to ask about very minor details. Like, okay, wait, so there was a storm? Like, describe to me what it's like when water falls from the sky, and there isn't water, like, all around you, but it falls from the sky.
Oh, it's great, because usually there's, like, no water in the air, but then at least it's, like, 50% water.
Wow, what is it like
just
when there's...
Imagine just, like, a constant current coming down at you.
Oh, wow.
Well, let me be clear. There certainly is usually water in the air. That's how I get rust.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you get rust? Are you gonna rust down here?
It's called humidity.
Oh, yeah, you oiled this morning, right, Malachi?
Yes, I oiled this morning. Who do you think I am?
Okay, all right, just checking.
It formed a little cloud around you in the water.
Do I ask you if you take a piss every morning, Finjamin, whatever your full name is?
I mean, sometimes. Not every morning, but...
Well, maybe I should, because we always have to stop.
Hey, Mela.
Yeah?
Nice to meet you. I'm Regin.
Hi, surely you introduced yourself at some point yesterday.
I whispered to Regin, you met yesterday!
I give her a nice, firm, warm handshake that turns into a kiss on the back of the hand.
Wow. She looks at it and then it's like, kind of like looks at Finn and looks at Malachi and is like, does everybody on the surface do this all the time?
Nope, don't worry.
No.
Oh.
He's just like this sometimes.
Depends where you're from.
Oh, where are you from?
Well, darling, I'm from the great kingdom of Erebraer, which is the northernmost bastion of freedom from the Empire.
Yeah, no, I've heard of that one.
Lots of really unique aquatic life up there. Like harbor seals.
Oh.
They look adorable, but they're deadly little killing machines.
Oh, seals don't come down this deep, so I am not really familiar with them.
Well, hey. Let's say you come up north and visit sometime and get to know some of the local fauna.
Regin?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to travel to the surface.
Regin, please don't hit on my acolyte.
Regin, you can't steal Finn's like one girl who he's kind of making a connection with.
She has a higher calling in this life than you could ever understand.
She's a teen.
You guys travel out of Nephthys. Through the elaborate gates, the guards nod to you as you pass. Out the other side of the city from where you entered yesterday. And begin to swim away from it through the depths of the Aberrant Sea. Mela explains that it'll take a few hours to get there, probably like 5 or 6. She points out some landmarks that you can kind of know where you're going by. There also is, like, around Nephthys, there are, like, roads-ish that are more like markings on the seafloor that just kind of show people where to go, like big arrows, essentially, pointing toward the city, so that people who are traveling from elsewhere can navigate to it. But it doesn't take very long after you've left the city before the sort of blackness of the deep ocean kind of swallows and surrounds you again, and you lose track of the civilization behind you.
And so then we looked up and there was this like huge giant guy in the middle of the cloud. And then he reached down, he and Regin zapped each other and he just like tossed us.
Oh my goodness, were you okay?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Surprisingly completely unharmed.
Wow. Lots of times when the like giant creatures down here, toss you places, generally you don't come out of that okay.
Well, we've met some of those giant creatures down here, and we've been fine so far.
Yeah, probably because Finn is, like, a princeling of the depths or whatever.
Yeah, although, surprisingly, there have been some sort of churlish denizens of the deep down here, I gotta say.
Oh, they weren't too respectful of Finn at all.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. The Lurker is, like, His majesty is not necessarily appreciated by every depth dweller down here, as I'm sure. I mean, how do people on the surface feel about him?
Generally negative, I've found.
Yeah.
Apparently they're not too crazy about, destroying ships, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I bet they probably would not be.
Yeah, they just don't get how cool it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole, like, the destroying things, like I said, it's a little bit of a sore spot amongst the cultists. The cultists who live on the island and those of us who follow him in the city, in terms of, like, how much destruction we want to encourage and versus, like, when maybe destruction is a bad thing. The people who are in charge over on the island right now are less big on the, like sacrifices and shit like that.
Okay. Noted.
So the Lurker acolytes are allowed to say shit?
You guys can make an insight check, actually.
On whether she's allowed to say shit?
Malachi, I think you're allowed to say shit. The Keeper never said anything about profanity.
I'm not talking about me.
7.
Am I also doing that?
Yeah, are we all?
If you're paying attention, yeah. Anyone who's,
I'm not
paying attention to this conversation, okay.
Yeah, insight, that's gonna be a 19.
Okay. Finn, you're not entirely... You can hear that she's somewhat hesitant, but you can't totally pick up on why. Malachi, as you sort of say that about her being allowed to say shit, you can see that she's kind of, like, testing how you guys feel, and especially, like, testing how Finn feels. Like, sort of trying to figure out, like, is he, like, extremely pro-destroying everything? Like, is he going to kind of... And there seems to be, I think with a 19, you also get... She's just trying to figure out what Finn's deal is, and if he's going to try to, like, take over everything now that he's here and is the prince. Like, she's definitely sizing you guys and Finn specifically up, and is being very careful about the way she speaks.
Not careful enough, it seems.
Oh yeah, as far as I'm concerned, acolytes can say all 7 of the words. Can't say them on TV, but you can say them under the sea.
On what?
Great, yeah, I'll start spreading that slogan around to the other acolytes. It's good to know where we stand. The Lurker himself isn't so good with, like, clear instructions about swear words. So...
Or a lot of things.
Do you guys have any weird swear words that we don't know about down here?
Oh yeah, how's the meta advance down here?
Yeah, for sure. She starts listing off curses in Aquan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A lot of, like, derogatory words about being from above the surface, and not being from the bottom of the ocean.
Malachi's, like, nodding along, trying not to look offended every time she says something that involves a pejorative form of, like, dirt or land or earth.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell us a little bit about the, like, structure of... We've been tossing around the word acolyte a lot, and I'm gonna be, I know what that is, but I don't think Malachi does.
Whatever. What does acolyte mean?
What's your role? What do you like to do for fun? Do you enjoy, long walks along the seafloor?
Well, I have a tail, so I don't walk. So swims.
You're quick.
I whisper to Malachi, so does he just not remember having this conversation yesterday?
Well, so I...
You did give him the strongest grain liquor you could find.
Mela is like, basically, so I, a few years ago was like, wow, I've got to do something interesting with my life. And so I sort of, went to all the temples and was like, what are the gods down here like? And then I walked into the Lurker's temple and I was like, wow, there is, definitely power here. And I'm very interested in that. And so I talked to Ta and I was like, hey, what is happening here? And he was like, oh, the Lurker in the deep. And of course, you grow up hearing stories about the Lurker in the deep, obviously. But he's kind of like scary. And I don't know, maybe I was going through a little bit of an alternative phase. But I was really drawn to it. And then it stuck. I mean, I really like that I can do like little bits of magic now. And the cult of the Lurker out on the island, I mean, they're really... A lot of them are really cool. So, some people in Nephthys think it's kind of, weird. Like, you're not supposed to worship the Lurker. He's a scary story. You're not supposed to, like, follow him. But a lot of us, think that, power is power. And the scary parts of the ocean are part of the ocean, too.
I high-five her.
Yeah, it makes a weird, like, a weird splashing noise because you're underwater. You guys keep swimming for another couple of hours. You don't see very much that's interesting. You see sometimes, like, giant fish that sail past you, schools of fish that look like one creature from a distance, but as they get closer and kind of pass around you are actually made up of millions of smaller fish all grouped together. The water around you is cold and sort of has that very... The aberrant sea, the water of the aberrant sea feels very full, if that makes sense. Like, there's almost a staticky feeling to it, and I think Finn feels this most pronounced, but all of you have, like, enough connections with magic and with higher beings to just sort of recognize that the water around you is charged with magic out here in a way that it isn't in the Western Sea. You are pondering that, and are swimming along, and after about, like, an hour and a half to close to 2 hours after you left Nephthys, all of a sudden, the water around you starts to get very hot. And it starts slowly. At first, you're kind of like, oh, like, we've just swum into a warmer patch of water, like when we swum through that weird jelly stuff the other day. But it starts out just kind of warm, and then it gets hotter and hotter until it's becoming uncomfortable. And Mela is looking around like, this is weird. This is not supposed to, we are not supposed to hit this, something is going on.
Huh.
God damn it.
So this isn't something like the cult set up as, like, a protective barrier?
Yeah, no, we're too far away for any of that yet. And this is, like, sometimes there's weird things in the Aberrant Sea, but I've been trying to take us around them. This is, there's something wrong here.
Finn, can you detect magic?
Yeah, I'm gonna detect magic.
Perfect.
Take a look around.
You detect magic. You immediately can tell that there is a, evocation magic effect happening around you. And not only that, I think you can tell that this is not, an ambient thing that you stumbled into. It seems like the water around you is being heated deliberately. Bubbles are starting to kind of, rise toward the surface above you.
Well, someone's definitely doing this to us.
I'll toss out a Dispel Magic.
Okay. You cast Dispel Magic. The water around you guys in this little, pocket, kind of stills and gets cool again, or at least gets bearable. But you can tell that it is, that you just temporarily suppressed whatever is going on, and you're still kind of surrounded by this. Getting, faster and faster. And Mela goes, we should surface. Whatever's doing this, I don't see anything around down here, and we should go up.
Is that good advice?
Make a insight if you want to figure it out with wisdom, or investigation if you want to figure it out with intelligence.
18 insight.
Okay. She's definitely not trying to trick you or anything like that. She seems vaguely panicky. There's other things you could do as well. But, if the water is the problem, then being not entirely submerged in water as a sound idea does seem like something.
And it was, a gradual thing, so we couldn't just go back, 30 feet to before it got hot, right?
Right. You can see, and if, as you move, if you try to move, it seems like the pocket of hot water is moving with you.
Alright, loath as I am to not be completely submerged, I guess we could try that. How deep are we, though? How long is that gonna take?
You're pretty deep, but it is faster to kind of, go up than it is to go sideways. Especially, the bubbles around you seem to be kind of rising toward the surface. So it'll take, maybe a minute or a couple of minutes if you guys just swim straight up, but it won't take an hour or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I want to start patting myself down and searching myself, and also looking at Finn and Regin to see if there's anything on our person that isn't normally on our person.
If someone planted something?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
Probably not the case based on your reaction, but if Ben had left something behind for them to target us or something. Yeah.
Very smart and cool idea, not what's happening. You don't find anything like that, although it would be cool if you had. But you guys start to head up to the surface, and as you do, Finn, you still have Detect Magic up. You realize that the effect... It's not that it's getting stronger as you get closer to the surface, but, you can tell that the magic is coming, whatever made this happen is coming from above the water, rather than from below and around you down here. Regin's little Dispel Magic bubble prevents you from taking damage, I will say, even as the water around you gets hot enough to be boiling.
As we're rising, I use Shape Water to try to equalize the pressure so Regin doesn't get the bends.
Great. Yeah, Finn neutralizes the bends from happening.
I feel like we definitely did have a conversation establishing specifically that the bends do not exist in the Luma Ocean.
Oh yeah, we did.
But I appreciate the thought.
Finn's making sure.
Just imagine if there was some sort of internal problem that could be caused by this rapid ascent. Just in case I'm gonna do this.
That'd be fucked up.
Also, everyone get ready, because we're getting closer to the source of whatever this is. It's up there at the top.
Rosalia, do we think?
Or adventurer.
Or someone with a really big magnifying glass.
Hannah, I would like to be, looking up for, the silhouette of a ship or anything such of that manner.
Yeah, make a perception check for me as you get closer to the surface.
Can I also make that?
Sure.
Yeah, me too.
8.
10.
19.
Wow.
Okay. None of you see, even with your 8, you don't see a ship, and you're sure that you would. If there was a ship on the water, you would see it, and you don't. Finn, you're the only one who spots that there is something in the air above the water, but you don't see the silhouette of, an airship. It looks more like a person who is flying or hovering, just like a little bit above the water.
Fucking Maelstrom cult, I swear to God.
Anything you'd like to do before you surface?
There's someone up there flying. I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself as we're swimming.
Okay. But Finn, as you cast Mage Armor on yourself, you, like, touch your chest and there's this... What does your Mage Armor look like again?
Just sort of like a sheen of water around me.
Yeah, so like a sheen of different looking water around the water that's around you. You see Mela actually does the same thing. She also casts Mage Armor on herself, and there is like a shimmer of water that surrounds her.
I high-five her again.
She high-fives you, although it's a lot more tense this time because she's very worried about whatever the situation is. She also has a little spear, by the way, like a hunting spear that looks like the ones that the other merfolk had.
I point at my spear and I'm like, and high five again.
She high fives you again.
I am deeply ashamed about this one, though.
Cool.
You said we could tell whoever the figure was floating?
Yeah, there definitely seems to be...
In the air.
Finn can see that something is floating above the surface of the water. That looks like a person size.
Could we see, like, are there wings or are they just floating?
I think you can't see with that much precision as you're below the ocean going up.
And what is the approximate distance from us to them at this time?
I think Finn rolled high enough that I think he can tell that this particular figure is probably pretty close to the surface of the water, like probably no more than 10 feet above the surface of the water.
Oh, okay, perfect. And how far are we from the surface of the water?
You are rocketing up, so if you want to do something, time is fluid.
Great.
If you want to do something when you get within 60 feet, feel free.
And so is water.
Wow.
Within, like, 75 feet, or maybe even 60 feet, I'm gonna cast Lightning Bolt.
Okay.
Whoa.
Cool. In that case, I will let you do that, and then we will roll initiative when you surface, which was the plan.
I am surprise attacking. I am shooting first and asking questions later.
Yeah. I will roll a dexterity save for this one. Nani, go ahead and roll me just a luck check.
12.
Okay. Cool. With a 12, I'm gonna say you're just hitting this one. A statement that will make more sense when you surface and I describe the situation. But they do fail the dexterity save, so go ahead and roll your damage.
Grand.
I am ready to Eldritch Blast. I'm also going to prepare the action of shouting, Maelstrom Cult sucks! when we surface, in case it's them.
32 lightning damage, please, Hannah.
Awesome.
I think I should like to cast Bless while we're on our way up.
Okay.
And the three creatures, I suppose, will be Mela, Regin, Finn, just in case we get separated.
Okay. You do that as you're rising. I'll tell you, since I usually tell you your allies, Mela has 45 hit points. Cool. You guys rocket toward the surface, protected by the remnants of Regin's spell, as the water around you continues to boil. As Finn spots this figure hovering above the water and points it out, Regin immediately shoots a bolt of lightning that cuts up through the water, and explodes out. You see the water sort of shower out around it, as this lightning bolt goes up into the sky, sort of a reverse of what lightning usually does. And you feel
I
it.
subverted expectations.
You feel it directly impact that figure, who sort of spins off to the side as you guys finally break the surface of the water. And for the first time, see what the aberrant sea looks like from above. The water is a deep churning indigo, a lot of purple in it. This, wine dark sea, one could say. These deep blues and purples and blacks, almost. The surface of the water is, calmer than most seas you've been in. Not as, placid as the lightless sea, but certainly not as tumultuous as the Sea of Storms or even the Western Sea in most places. The sky above you is overcast. There's cloud cover, although it is not raining or anything like that. And the clouds have an odd look to them, that you can't entirely place exactly what's going on, especially because your attention is immediately drawn by the figures who are hovering. You see that there are 5 figures hovering between the surface of the water and the clouds far above you. All 5 of them are wearing the blue robes that you recognize from your days way back in the Bluefin Tropical Resort.
These guys, jeez.
All 5 of them are hovering with no sign of exactly how the hovering is happening.
I whispered to everyone else, I bet it's some kind of magic.
You see the one that's closest to you, the one that Regin hit with the lightning, is a bald man who actually they're not wearing masks. When they were at the Bluefin Tropical Resort, they all had these masks. They're not wearing those now.
Was he bald before the lightning?
He was bald before the lightning, yes. Although you see he has like a mustache and a little goatee that looks slightly singed. He also has red skin, and you can see that like as he got hit with the lightning and as he's like reeling from it, the water around you kind of like cools down slightly for a second and then goes right back to being as hot as it was before. The other figures, 3 of them just look like kind of normal-looking cultists that you don't recognize, just like wearing these robes and looking down at you.
Nothing like a normal-looking cultist.
Oh yeah, standard stuff.
The 5th, however, you do recognize. She has blue skin and a very smug-looking expression.
This bitch
seems to be the cult leader that you had a run-in with way back during the Bluefin Tropical Resort arc, and who escaped in a like spray of ozone.
The blue-skinned bitch!
From where she was being held in the resort's, like, locked in an office, if I remember correctly.
You know, the resort dungeon that all resorts have.
Yeah, exactly. The very secure resort dungeon that clearly couldn't hold her. And she is hovering up, like, a little bit above the rest of them. Probably like 60 feet above. She's smart enough to be 65 feet above the surface of the water.
Damn.
Yeah, that is who you see looking at you with murderous intent. Everyone can go ahead and roll initiative.
All right.
Nat 20!
Wow.
18.
I'm so ready to shout at them.
2.
Finn, what does that get you total?
23.
And what about Nerd Crab?
5.
Okay. Finn, you are the first to act.
All right. So here's what I want to do, which is I want to pour on the speed and not slow down at all as I'm approaching the surface, so I can just like leap out of the surface like a whale breaching.
Sure.
So I do that. I rocket up into the air and I shout, "Maelstrom Cult sucks!" And then I want to activate my magic tentacle tattoo.
Ooh.
And suddenly just shoot out these magic black tentacles from my arm and wrap them around the guy who Regin hit with the lightning bolt, who seems to be casting the spell.
Okay, cool. So you can do that. At the top of your turn, I need you to take 2 fire damage from the water around you.
Youch!
What about Regin's protection?
Regin's protection kept you from taking damage on the way up here, which you were supposed to do. It's in my notes and everything. But now that you're here and in combat, the boiling sea is going to have ambient effects.
So he needs to make a strength save.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully he's a weak little mage.
That's a 9?
Haha, he fails! So what that means is he is now grappled by me, and he takes 3d6 force damage.
Nice.
Okay. You see, he's like very buff, and as you like reach out with the tentacles, he starts to say something about how he's too strong for the sea, but then just is too busy taunting you, and you're able to get the tentacles wrapped around his ankle.
What? I couldn't hear you over me shouting at you!
Get his ass.
So he takes 9 damage.
Okay.
And then, because he's grappled, as I hit the apex of my breach and fall back down to the water, can I pull him down into the water with me?
You You, Finn, make an athletics check for me with advantage because you're in your water home turf for how high you're able to leap to see if you can pull him all the way down to the water or if you can just sort of like pull him closer.
While he's doing that, I would be remiss if I don't at least ask. The Boiling Sea is a spell that this guy's casting, right?
It is not a spell so much as like a magical effect.
We don't get resistance to the damage?
I think, no. It is not spell damage. Like, Aura of Warding has to very specifically be spell damage.
Okay.
14 on the athletics.
14, okay. I said that he was 10 feet above the surface of the water, so I will say that you're able to, like, breach at least 5 feet up. So the tentacle wraps around him, and you drag him down so that he is now hovering just, like, 5 feet above the surface of the water, which means that if people want to get to him with melee attacks, they can do so.
Nice.
I'm going to make a concentration check for him as well, which he passes. The sea continues to boil. Anything else you want to do with your turn, Finn?
Now I'm going to summon my other tentacle.
Awesome.
And this tentacle is going to just pop up in, like, the middle of all the other guys who are still hovering higher up and smack one of them. 15 to hit?
That does hit, yes.
And that does 1 damage.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He gets lightly tapped by a tentacle. Okay. That is the cultist's turns.
That was a warning tap, I say, just before I vanish back beneath the waves.
One of the cultists, the one who just got slapped by your tentacle, points down at you, Finn, and in a magically magnified voice just says, "Drop!" I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw, Finn.
You had a D4 and also the +4 from my aura.
21.
Okay, cool. You pass your save against command, no problem.
Malachi shouts, "No!"
Yeah, no!
Awesome.
I guess I appreciate you using your words. Just choose better ones next time.
The second one is going to try a different tactic to achieve a similar result, and is just going to try casting Hold Person on you, Finn. So I need another wisdom saving throw. This time, there's no words involved. You're just getting held.
You still get your bonuses, though.
Yeah, you still get the same bonuses.
Is hold.
25.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you continue to be so fine. You feel the command, and then your muscles very briefly start to lock up, but you just shove it off.
I shout at that one, "Try using your words next time!" And I am shouting all of this from just underneath the surface of the water.
He's in his element, buddy. Don't even bother.
The third one is just going to do some attacking. So, Finn, are you actually, like, how far below the surface of the water are you?
You tell me. Because basically, in my imagination, my goal was to pull this guy who I have grappled down into the water with me. So,
yeah,
I would go as far as my movement allows.
Okay. Yeah, so he's, like, right at the surface of the water, and you're 15 feet underwater. Cool, so in that case, this is going to target, I think... Well, they probably don't know that Regin's the one who shot lightning. So I guess they're going to target Malachi. So, Malachi, I need a dexterity saving throw from you.
Oh, come on! With the assistance of mine own aura, that is a 9.
Okay, so you take 9 radiant damage.
It's a spell, though, right?
It is a spell, yes. So 9 damage halved from this beam of radiant light that cuts down from one of the clouds.
Hey, who said you could use that?
And then a glowing ball.
That's my thing.
Malachi, just make their spells not work on you. That's what I did. It was easy.
A glowing ball of lightning appears above the water right next to you and attempts to slam into you.
Whoa. I took radiant damage and now I'm going to be attacked by lightning?
Are you trying to claim a monopoly on all radiant damage?
Well, why do you get both?
Some of us are multi-talented! That's a 21 to hit you.
Yeah. Ugh.
Sorry for rolling well.
Some crimes can never be forgiven.
You gotta do it sometimes, I guess.
7 force damage. This is also halved.
Okay, so 3?
Yeah.
All right.
That is the cultists. Regin, that is your turn.
Okay, grand. And you said Miss Binch is 65 feet above the surface?
Correct.
I am literally directly under the surface. Like, you ever,
Be underwater?
be directly under the surface of something?
Yeah.
All the time, dude.
Rarely. But...
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to cast another lightning bolt at her.
Okay.
Specifically.
You can angle it so that you hit one of the cultists as well.
I would
and
love
in fact,
to.
frankly, I think you can probably angle it so that you hit the red guy if you go right under the surface and angle it up.
Yeah,
Like
and
there
I have
should be a
movement,
line
so-
you can draw between the red guy and a cultist and the blue bitch, as I recall us calling her in episode 3
Grand.
or whatever.
I'm referring back to the session we fought these guys last when we were level 2, and she's referred to as solely blue bitch.
Cool. So I will roll some dexterity saving throws. Oh my god. Okay. The red guy and the cultist both fail.
Careful, don't singe my tentacle.
We rolled like shit. 21 damage, please.
Okay. The cultist immediately looks so hurt. You blast him with lightning and he is very injured. The red guy also looks quite hurt, but manages to maintain concentration. Regin, I need you to take 5 fire damage from being in the sea as it is boiling.
Nothing.
Blue bitch, however, you see this lightning bolt streak through these two figures and hit her right at the apex of the bolt. And as the smoke clears and as the electricity sizzles out of the air, she looks entirely unharmed. This is new. I don't know if you hit her with lightning in the last battle, but she at least seems to have gotten stronger between then and now.
That's not fair. Only we're supposed to level up.
And she just sort of smirks down at you as the lightning dissipates around her.
Does it look like it just fully didn't touch her, or it hit her but it wasn't a problem?
Fully didn't touch her.
Okay.
She took 0 damage from that.
All right.
And the red guy has taken quite a bit of damage at this point. He still looks like he's grappled and not happy about it, but health-wise, he still looks fine.
Okay, great. And then, seeing that she is unaffected by my lightning, I'm going to bonus action rage.
Awesome. The baby dragons take off from around your shoulders and start orbiting your head.
My baby!
They kind of they splash in the sea a little bit. Also, I don't know why they're not babies. They're miniature versions of adult dragons. I guess we're calling them babies.
But they're cute.
Okay. That is... that's the blue bitch's turn. She is blue bitch in my initiative order, by
Hell
the way,
yeah.
as well. Okay, what can she do?
She can eat my ass. That's what she can do.
No.
Many have dared, few have succeeded. Grizzled old fantasy guy sitting in front of a fire. So, you think you're the one who's finally man enough to eat the ass, eh? Well, I won't lie to you, I don't like your odds. I've seen better than you try to eat that ass, and, well, let's just say they never came back up for air.
I've lost friends in there. Good friends. Good men. Good soldiers.
Listen, man, I see an ass, I'm gonna try and eat it. I don't know what to tell you.
You're a fool!
They delved into that cleft.
Are we done?
They fjorded that cannon.
Why don't you go eat an ass that's more your speed, child?
I've tried, man. Excelsior, you know?
The only one who could ever eat that ass to completion is the one who bears the sacred mark, and you... Wait a moment.
I flip my...
Let me see your wrist.
I flash him.
My God. I've waited so long.
Man, they never thought to send somebody with tits.
My sword and my tongue are yours to command.
Oh, for real? Right now?
I mean, it's up to you.
Cap?
Okay.
I don't have anything else going on.
I'm gonna keep narrating.
Okay.
Good job, guys.
Side podcast.
I don't want to be involved in that one. The blue-skinned spellcaster holds out her hands, and the water around Finn begins to swirl very fast, like a whirlpool. And for a second, you think it's going to suck you down, but instead, this whirlwind, this water spout, begins to rise up from the surface of the water directly where Finn is. Finn, I need you to make a strength saving throw for me.
Oh, yikes.
Oh my god, she's giving him a reverse swirly.
That's an 11.
Okay. Finn, you are restrained by this whirlwind. Nothing else happens right now. You are just restrained by this whirlwind, stuck firmly inside it, as it is spinning in place. Okay, and that is her action, so she is just gonna keep hovering up there. That's Mella's turn. Hi, girly. Wow. Okay, I think she's just gonna shocking grasp the red guy.
Hell yeah.
So that is... Ooh, okay, well, she did not roll very well. So she kind of she reaches out and is trying to grab the red guy's ankle, but as Finn gets sucked into this tornado, the red guy is also kind of spinning around by the tentacles, and so Mela just cannot manage to actually get a grasp. And she also takes 6 fire damage from the boiling sea.
Man, I hate it when I gotta keep 4 guys alive.
That is Nurkrab's turn.
Remind me, he can't help on saving throws?
He can't help on saving throws.
Damn.
He can help on attack rolls, or he can hinder someone and give them disadvantage. Also, Nurkrab is small enough that he can be, perched on someone's head to keep him out of the sea so he doesn't just die, but he does need to be, perched on someone's head so he doesn't just die. He would be dead already if not for the Dispel magic.
Yeah, so, Regin, you're sort of treading water at the surface, right?
Yes, or just barely under it.
Regin can have one hand up in the air.
Do you need me to be above it? Because I was hiding.
Actually, it's also funny if you're just below it, because then Nurkrab will look like he's walking on water. I'm gonna have Nurkrab go hang out with Regin and get ready to give him advantage on his next attack.
Awesome.
And just sort of perch on top of his head. So Regin's just under the surface, and it looks like Nurkrab is standing on the surface of the water.
Cool. Very unsettling image.
Messianically.
Okay, red guy gets a turn here.
Hannah, are the red guy and the blue bitch in love?
Make it draw your own conclusions. They do look like they have a sort of contrasting but matching aesthetics thing going on.
And their baby? Purple.
Aw, paprika.
Is the red guy suffering any deleterious effects from also being spun around?
Not really. In fact, it looks like this is better for him.
He's having too good of a time.
I think he's going to hurl flame.
And then he's just gonna hurl from being dizzy.
That's not very thunderstorm god of him.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, what happened to your theme?
I don't necessarily need to follow the same theming as everyone else. I've got my own thing going on.
What, so your boyfriend gets a free pass?
What? Who are you taunting right now?
I'm taunting the blue bitch.
He's gonna hurl flame at you, Malachi.
Me?
Wow, he crit.
Aww.
Ooh, that's exciting. Okay.
That's okay. His double damage will be split in half anyway.
Well, this isn't a spell.
What?
It's just an attack. And I rolled well, nonetheless. Okay. You take 40 fire damage, as this...
40, you said?
Actually, frankly, okay, hold on. This might count as spell damage. It does say ranged spell attack, so I have to assume that it counts as a spell. I'm gonna roll that it counts as a spell. So you take 40 fire damage as this fireball slams into your chest, but it is halved. You feel your aura kind of deflecting it around you, and you take a total of 20.
All right. Hey, let me roll concentration. I keep, barely making it, I think. Hold on. Oh, no, I failed this time, actually. Man.
Okay. As the flame kind of, washes around you, you feel your concentration on Bless drop.
Yeah, you guys lose your blessing.
He has a second attack, which he's going to take against Regin.
Oh, no.
That is a 19 to hit. So, Regin, you take... And you're still within Malachi's aura, so this is halved as well, but is still 21 halved to 10 fire damage. Okay. That is... Malachi, that is your turn. You take 2 fire damage from being in the boiling sea.
And Finn, while he is in the thing, the guy is still within 5 feet of the surface, right?
Yes.
Alright, so in that case, I am going to bonus action infuse my axe, though, with cold damage.
Ooh.
And I'm going to swing at that bitch, and I say, yeah, we can do more than one thing at a time, too. Does 21 hit?
Yes.
Nice. Wow. Not awesome on the cold damage there. So that's going to be 12 magic slashing damage, I guess.
Okay.
And 1 cold damage.
Okay. You hit him with your axe. There is a little shimmer of ice crystals from it, and he goes, I hate cold, but not really mechanically, just emotionally, because D&D doesn't do a lot with vulnerabilities.
Yeah, it's really stupid, but I'm glad I made you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I emotionally, I don't like this at all.
Alright, good, I'll try it again.
I will... He maintains concentration through that.
Dirty 20 hit?
Yes.
Concentrate on this! My god, I rolled a 1 again on the cold damage.
It's just a slightly chilly axe.
Like you stuck the blade
just
in
came
the
out of the fridge.
Damn!
He could, use a sweater, maybe. He's not dying without it, but it might be nice.
Damn! And I didn't roll well on the other damage, too, so that's a 8 slashing damage and 1 cold damage.
Okay.
Maybe I should smite this guy.
He continues to maintain concentration.
Alright, I'll smite him next time.
Okay. Awesome. Finn, back to the top. That is your turn. You take 2 fire damage from being in the boiling sea. Also, you are restrained by this whirlwind.
Yeah, so what's going on with that?
You're just in a water spout, although you're still underwater, so it is basically like being in a whirlpool. You can still do things, but you are restrained, so you can't move from the spot you're in, and you have disadvantage on attacks.
And how do I get out of that?
You would need to make a strength check, or someone else could make a strength check to pull you out of it.
Okay.
Or you could, do something else. But the base way to get out of it is to do a strength check.
Matt, well now I'm frustrated because I sent Nurgle away because I assumed it would be a strength saving throw to get out. Okay, so first what I want to do is, because I still have this guy wrapped up in my tentacles, I just want to, swing my arm down to, whip him into the water.
Okay.
Or can I, retract the tentacle to, pull him in close to me?
I think so. I think you can't pull him into the whirlwind because the whirlwind occupies only a 5-foot space, but you can pull him underwater.
Okay, cool. So first I do that, and I shout at him, "Let's see if your lungs are too strong for the depths." And just sort of yank him down and pull the tentacle in a bit, so now he is underwater.
Okay.
So I do that, I yank him into the water, and then I'm going to try to swim out of this whirlpool with my incredible swimming ability.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check.
6.
No. You start to try to swim out of it, but the water is just whipping around you so fast that you cannot break free.
And bonus action, my tentacle up in the sky is gonna smack another one of those guys again.
Awesome.
24 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. Are you smacking the same one that you smacked before, or do you want to hit the hurt one that Regin lightning bolted?
Same one as before.
Okay.
That's another 1 damage.
You're chipping away at him. He's just up here. This is the one that tried to command you, and so this tentacle is just like lightly slapping him around.
You need a lesson in manners.
Cool. That is the cultists' turns. Finn, additionally, would you make a perception check for me?
11.
Okay. You don't note anything. You're busy being whipped around by the water.
The guy who I have my tentacle around, who I pulled down, and I are now just eyes locked as we're both spinning around.
You're like the two guys sitting in a hot tub, but opposite sides of the whirlpool.
It's like in a rom-com when they have that shot of the two people arm in arm twirling around in a meadow, except we're both screaming and we hate each other.
Okay. The first one is going to try to hold person Malachi. So Malachi,
Hey.
give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Hey.
11.
Ooh, that's fun. Cool,
No,
you
it's
fail. You are, you fall under the effect of the hold person spell, and you are paralyzed.
Malachi just sinks like a stone.
Okay, so you are, Malachi, you are incapacitated and can't move or speak. Automatically fail strength and dex saving throws. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature.
Damn! How do I break free of this shit?
You get to make another save at the end of your turn. Okay. So that's the first of the cultists.
Hey, someone break
the
concentration on this guy.
second of the cultists is going to try and Sacred Flame.
I'll do it with 1 damage.
Sacred Flame Regin, because you blasted him with lightning.
I
So
did.
give me a dexterity saving throw, kindly.
Would this be a visible effect? It's a visible spell that he is casting?
Yes.
Great. Dirty 20.
Okay, you are fine. You don't take any damage from that. The third one is going to also Sacred Flame Regin, so give me another dexterity saving throw.
17.
Okay, yeah, you're still fine.
Nice.
And then it's going to send the spiritual weapon Lightning Ball against Malachi with advantage, although this won't be a critical hit if it hits because the attacker is hovering in the air like 40 feet above you. But it does hit, so you take 6 half to 3 lightning damage, or force damage, sorry. The lightning is only for flavor. Cool, that's the cultists. Regin, that is your turn. You take 3 fire damage from the boiling sea, and then are free to act as you would like.
Grand.
Red guy is like under the water right next to you. The cultists are still hovering, and then the blue bitch is hovering even further above them.
And where is Finn in relation to the red guy?
Finn is in a tornado like 10 feet from the red guy because he pulled the red guy underwater a little bit.
Okay. Would it be wiser for me in this moment to try and break Finn out of the tornado, or to try and put in some more damage to this guy whilst he is grappled?
Whatever you do, you'll have advantage because of Nurgle. I mean, I personally would prefer to be broken out of the whirlpool. I don't know if that's the best move strategically.
Well, and doesn't Rage grant you advantage on strength stuff?
Yeah.
Rage grants you advantage on strength checks, yeah. So you'll have double advantage on pulling Finn out
Yeah.
of the... which doesn't actually do anything, but you're getting it from 2 sources.
Yeah, so I am going to hit the man with my big hammer.
Awesome.
Hit him in the chest so he'll drown faster. Knock the wind out.
Okay. 24 to hit.
Yeah, that certainly hits.
Great. 6 damage.
Okay. Unfortunately, crits on his concentration check.
Fair enough.
And he is not bloodied, but he is, like, just above bloodied.
Yeah, alright, I'm good.
And your little guys swarm around him. I don't remember exactly what they do, but they're doing what they do. Making it so he can't attack.
They are hindering. So he has dis on anything that isn't against me.
Okay. That is... Oh, that is the blue bitch's turn. Regin, would you give me a perception check as well on your turn?
Be honored. 15.
Okay. You are still, like, slightly underwater, swinging at this guy with your hammer, and you catch sight, like, beyond where Finn is stuck in this tornado, this whirlpool, you see that there is a dark shape, a large dark shape, moving very fast through the water towards you guys. You can't make out anything about it yet, but something is about to arrive on the scene.
Okay, I use the speak free action to yell, "We got company!"
The blue bitch, reaches her hand down and, like, makes a grabbing and pulling motion in the air. And the entire vortex of air and water moves. Finn, you feel yourself yanked up out of the water and 30 feet into the air. So you are no longer in a whirlpool underwater, you are in a water spout suspended 30 feet in the air. The red guy comes with you. Unless, if
we're inseparable to the end.
If you'd like to release him, you can, or you can keep hold with the coiling grasp and he gets pulled up with you.
I'm gonna keep him for now.
Okay. So, there is now Finn in this water spout, and then just outside the water spout, a red man in blue cultist robes who has tentacles wrapped around him. Yeah, getting spun around. Yep, and that's where you guys are, and that's her action. Mela...
I try to angle the tentacle so that this guy will be on a level with the other cultists and will collide with them as he swings around in the circle.
Mela takes 4 fire damage from the boiling sea. And she's like, "Shit, Finn!" as you get yanked up into the air. And she's going to Eldritch Blast the red guy. So... Wow! She crit, everyone.
Wow.
Great
Wow.
news.
Good for Mela.
My hero!
Cool. She does... Okay, 6 damage to the red guy.
Somebody doesn't have Agonizing Blast.
Who continues to pass his save, yeah. And she's going to go ahead and try and hit with her second beam. She does have 2 beams. Wow, and the second one is a 24 to hit.
Wow.
Oh, girl boss, I know. Wow, and that's 10 more damage on that one. So now the red guy is bloodied.
Nice.
I reach out 30 feet down with my mage hand to high-five her.
She accepts the high five. Goddamn, I'm rolling really well for you guys' allies and your enemies. He still maintains concentration.
Jesus.
This guy must be great at chess.
That is Nurkrab's turn, Andy.
Can I have Nurkrab leap into the spout and then, like, ride the funnel up and join me where I am?
Sure. I'll allow it.
Great, he's gonna do that.
Okay.
To give me advantage next time.
Awesome. Nurkrab scuttles off of Regin and just kind of, like, launches himself through the air into the water spout and gets sucked up next to Finn. That is the red guy's turn. I guess? Yeah, I think he's just going to attack Finn with his sword.
He has a sword?
He is not within 5 feet of me.
Oh, that's true. He's grappled. He can't move closer to you, as well as not far away from you. Okay. He's going to hurl flame again. He's going to hurl flame 1 at Finn and 1 at Malachi. Both with advantage, because Malachi's paralyzed and Finn is restrained.
And Finn is outside of my aura, isn't he? Because he's 30 feet up.
And Finn is outside of your aura, yeah. So against Finn, that's a 22 to hit.
Yep.
So you take 17 fire damage, not halved. And against Malachi, that is a 23 to hit. So you take 23 fire damage, halved. Okay, Malachi, that's your turn. You cannot act because you are paralyzed. And you take 3 fire damage from the boiling sea. But at the end of your turn, you get to make a wisdom saving throw.
We should be okay. That is 23.
Yeah, for sure. The sheer amount of frustration at not being able to do anything breaks you out of the hold person. And you are able to move again.
As Malachi breaks out of the hold person, you just hear, "Oh shit!" from when he started to yell how stupid this was before he got paralyzed.
Top of the round. At the start of the round, Regin, you are the only person who is still underwater at this point. So you are the one who sees the shape that you had spotted get closer and closer. And you have this moment of just complete bafflement, because that can't actually be what you think you're looking at, because what you're looking at is a ship coming at you from underwater. A second later, just as you think of this, that ship breaches the surface, and all of you see this full sailing ship just like explode out from under the water, an air bubble that was protecting it kind of collapsing around it, as you see the crew of the ship kind of like frantically grabbing ropes and going to man the ballistas. You also see a single figure kind of like sprint to the edge of the deck and like swan dive off into the ocean, and just kind of like goes underwater, like a little ways away from you guys, too far to see any details about this person, except that they run to the edge of the ship, jump off, and go underwater.
Interesting.
And you see the captain of this submarine is kind of like yelling directions and kind of pointing up at Finn in the whirlpool, or in the water spout as the ship has arrived.
Can we see what the captain looks like at all?
You can make perception checks.
All right.
Yeah.
12 perception.
19.
Yeah, I only got a 9.
Cool. This makes sense. Finn, despite being in the water spout, you're like the closest, because it basically like the ship surfaced on like the opposite side from you guys. Finn, you, in this moment, as you're being spun around through this wall of transparent water that has now wrapped you up, you manage to get this moment of stillness where you look down at the ship, and you make eye contact with the captain, who is a woman with short, dark hair and an eye patch. You've never seen her, at least that you remember in person, but you've seen her in several visions and dreams, and one glance through Stella's looking glass, as you see this half-elven woman that has been haunting your visions for a while now, who is now yelling to the crew and pointing up at you.
Mom?
Your voice is Nurkrab scuttles along your shoulders, the only one who's close enough to hear you say it. And she sort of like, through the water, she holds your gaze for just a second before she goes back to yelling orders to the crew. Finn, it's now your turn. Top of the round. You're the one who gets to go now.
Oh my god. You see that? Well, I've got to get out of this spout. And this time I have advantage from my trusty crab.
Yeah, you do.
Itsy bitsy spider be like.
With advantage, that is a 4.
No.
Oh, man.
Every time Finn gets grappled, it's always this. Yeah, you are like trying to fight your way out of the water spout, but it's difficult. You're not used to water like not doing what you want it to do, and
this is an outrage!
The problem here is the air rather than the water. Like the air is being controlled, not the water, so you're not really
I promise I'm more in control of water than this normally. Mom.
You still have a bonus action.
Alright, so I am going to teleport my tentacle so it's now up by the blue bitch. And it is going to smack her. Try and break that concentration.
Okay.
Should have done this first.
18 to hit.
Yes, that does hit.
7 damage.
Okay. I will make a concentration check for her. Oh, no. She gets a 14, which is a lot lower than what the red guy's been rolling, but is still high enough to pass.
Ah!
You are still stuck in the whirlpool. And she takes that damage. The cultists are going to keep doing similar to what they've been doing. I think the first one is going to go ahead and also cast a spiritual weapon. So Malachi, I need a dexterity saving throw from you for Sacred Flame.
17?
That passes. And then you are also getting a spiritual weapon swung at you. Wow! Guys, I crit again.
What the hell?
You take... It's spell damage and a fairly low-level spell, so you take 9 half to 4 damage.
Wow.
The second one, I think, is going to Sacred Flame Regin. So Regin, make a dexterity save for me. And he's also casting Shield of Faith on himself.
Oh, that's a 13.
That just barely passes.
Grand.
And then the third one is also, I need another dexterity saving throw from you, Regin.
22.
Yep, you're fine. And is also going to swing the spiritual weapon at you. 15 to hit?
Nope.
Cool. The ball of lightning tries to, go underwater and hit you, but can't.
Yeah. Who's the Stormfather here, huh?
That weird perception thing where objects look different underwater happens.
It's me. I'm Storm Daddy.
Awesome.
Fuck you.
That's your turn, Regin. You're still in the water, so you take 2 fire damage.
So nobody is in melee range with me.
Correct.
Could I do an athletics check to break Finn out?
Finn is now up in the air, so you'd have to have some way to get to him.
I can climb up a water spout.
No.
I'm raging.
Yeah, but it's not like a physical thing that you can climb.
You can do anything if you're angry enough.
Do you have a way to fly?
Yeah, my baby dragons can hoist me.
No.
Can he spider walk up the spout?
No.
Okay, I do have rope. And so I would like to use my rope and, either lasso Finn himself or, use it to, lash into the water spout itself to yoink myself up and along.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. You can make an athletics check for me. If you hit a DC 18, you successfully lasso Finn and you can get pulled up there. If you hit a DC 22, you successfully lasso Finn, get pulled up there, and can still have your action to make a strength check to try to pull him out.
And is Nurgle available to give me advantage, ?
No.
Nurkrab is with me, but could he perhaps grab onto this end of the rope and tug on it, therefore giving Regin advantage on his pulling?
I think Regin has advantage from rage, because it is an athletics
I
check.
do have advantage already.
Oh.
But it was worth an ask to get more. Fuck! I rolled a 2 and a 9. Although the 9 comes to a 16.
So you throw the rope up there. Nurkrab reaches down with his little claws.
He just misses.
It just misses. It's like a slow motion shot where he's reaching with his claws and he brushes it but can't quite make contact.
Can't believe you would do this to Nurgle.
Yeah, he's the real victim.
No,
here.
she would do it to Nurkrab, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Come on, he doesn't even make you make weird noises.
Yeah, Finn, you can't help but think that Nurgle is a little bit faster in gull form, and probably if he was a gull, he could have gotten it.
That's what I get for bringing a crab into the sky. The domain of gulls.
Okay, do you have a bonus action, Nani?
No, I'll just hang out here.
Okay, cool. That is the ship's turn. You see multiple weapons on the ship get pointed up at the blue lady in the sky, seemingly having seen Finn's tentacle try and hit her. You see 2 ballistas and a mangonel get pointed up at her, and they're all going to make attacks.
What's a mangonel?
A mangonel? I think it's called a light novel.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's in here in my stat.
It's like a trebuchet.
Oh yeah, it's a type of catapult.
It sounds like a cold, refreshing treat.
The ballista hits. She takes 11 piercing damage.
God, I love siege engines.
Passes her concentration check. The second ballista misses, but the mangonel hits, and this one is the one that does the most damage.
A mangonel sure does hit after a long, hard day working in the sun. Cool down with the refreshing tropical taste of mangonel.
Jesus Christ. 37 damage.
Wow.
Very good.
So, this is a DC 18 concentration check.
Come on.
Oh my god.
Fails by 1.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, DC 18 still only fails by 1, but you see as this like massive cannonball kind of like slams right into her where she is in the sky, kind of knocking the wind out of her, so to speak. And
Wow.
the tornado dissipates.
Oh.
Finn, you fall 30 feet. So you do
As I'm falling, I lock eyes with the red guy and I say, "About time, right?" I feel like we've really got a rapport going now.
I disagree about the rapport.
Do you guys cling to each other as you fall?
No, I'm still keeping him at a safe distance.
Yeah, you keep him at a safe distance. I'm removing one of the dice of fall damage because you're hitting water. So you just take 8 bludgeoning damage as you hit the water.
Oh, come on. I shouldn't take damage falling into water. I'm an expert diver.
Red guy takes 7
Embarrassing.
Really? He takes less than me?
and maintains his concentration. No one even worry. Cool. And the ship, everybody on the ship starts reloading, getting ready for a second volley.
Thank you!
That is the blue lady's turn. What
Why is she a
gonna
lady now? That's what I want to know.
do?
The Comics Code Authority is on our ass.
Not again.
On our what?
Oh, God!
She's actually going to hold an action. She's going to come down a little bit. So she swoops down to like 40 feet above the surface of the water, about where the other cultists are, and holds an action. That is Mella's turn. I think she's going to try to shocking grasp the red guy again, now that he's down here. She takes 3 fire damage from the sea, and still misses with her shocking grasp. she's got the Eldritch Blasts down, does not seem to be able to manage the melee spells.
Good effort!
On the next initiative count, you see the figure that leapt from the ship into the water suddenly surfaces on a like small water spout. You see a figure who looks. There's a split second of panic, Finn, because this guy looks a lot like Cathoth. But you realize, like, as you
killed
look at
you!
him for another moment, that he's a different shade of purplish blue, and has like a longer face. It's just that he's got the same like tentacle face thing going on that Cathoth did. But he raises up his hands.
And he waggles his tentacles.
Oh, and he's gonna do Voice of the Kraken. Yeah. So he like rises. He spouts up in this small water spout over the water and just speaks this booming command in the voice of the Lurker, echoing, bouncing off the surface of the waves, and just like you understand it, Finn, as just a command to go. I'm gonna make a bunch of saving throws. Wow. Okay. The red guy and one cultist succeed. The blue bitch and the other 2 cultists all fail. So you see all of them, sort of the blue lady goes a little bit pale as she is backing away from from this newcomer.
Now she's the periwinkle lady.
Who's speaking this command over the water. Awesome. That is, Nurkrab. He fell when you did, Finn. He's still kind of perched on your shoulders.
Yeah, he's gonna stay there.
Awesome. That is the red guy who is just, at this point, he is actually going to go ahead and use his action to try and get out of the tentacles.
After everything we've been through.
I'm afraid, I think our little dance here is coming to an end.
You should be afraid! Nurkrab waves his claws menacingly.
He gets exactly what he needs. Rolled an 8, which gets him exactly a 14. And he manages to break free of the tentacle grasp and will then fly up, away from Finn, kind of up toward where the blue lady is. Malachi, that's your turn.
All right. So there's nobody in melee range, right?
No.
All right.
Come back here and drown like a man, damn you!
What's their array in the sky? Are they all spread out, or are they all like straight above us, or?
The cultists are like in a line 40 feet up, a little bit spread out from each other, probably like 10 feet apart from each other. The red guy is up 60 feet. The blue bitch is like 40 feet. Close to where the cultists are, basically.
Okay, are any of them within 5 feet of each other, like on a horizontal plane? Even if they're like separated by height?
The blue bitch and one of the cultists are.
All right, well, so Malachi surfaces again from being paralyzed. Looks around real quick with his axe and is just like, fucking. All right, multitasking it is! And he's going to moonbeam them.
Okay, awesome. What kind of save do I need to make?
Con.
Okay. Wow. They both fail. I rolled a 2 and a 1.
All right, so let me roll for them. Wow. Okay, so they each take 16 radiant damage.
Okay.
Does that seem to affect her at all?
Radiant damage affects her, yeah.
All right, so they take 16 radiant damage, and I assume neither of them are shape changers, but if they were, they revert.
No. Well, no. The blue bitch clearly has something going on. Like, you can tell that she's not quite a humanoid. Back to the top of the round. Finn, that is you.
How far away is red guy?
60 feet in the air.
I'm gonna shoot him down.
Okay.
Finally, firing off an Eldritch Blast. 26 and 25 to hit.
Both hit.
30 damage.
Oh.
I rolled max
Wow.
Very good.
on both.
Okay, let me make 2 concentration checks. Passes the first one. Wow. Rolls a 3 on the second one, which actually is enough to fail.
Haha!
So you finally, with that second Eldritch Blast, feel the sea go still around you.
Hey, also, shouldn't he have taken a little fire damage because he started his turn in the water?
He would if he wasn't immune to it.
Oh, that fucker. Everyone's got a gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
I say.
You have a bonus action. He still looks like he looks pretty hurt at this point.
Well, let's see if my other tentacle can finish the job.
Yeah, fuck gimmicks, am I right?
And my Lurker tentacle is going to teleport to him and smack him.
Okay.
15 to hit.
That does not hit, unfortunately.
All right, then my tentacle just waves threateningly.
Cool.
Or perhaps it's waving goodbye.
Wow, forever.
Who can say?
That is the cultists who are just all going to kind of like lock in on Finn as the most hurt one and kind of focus fire.
Uh-oh.
Not with their spiritual weapons because those are over by Malachi and Regin, so they're too far away. But well, I guess, Finn, unless you want to use your movement to get in aura.
Ooh, yes, actually I do. I swim over to my friends.
Nice.
Okay. You swim over to your friends. That means they can attack you with spiritual weapons, but also you're an aura. So I need 3 dexterity saving throws from you.
Let it also be known that the guy in Moonbeam has to make another con save.
Ah, so true. Actually, let me do that first because it's the start of his turn, right?
Yeah, it is.
He fails. Go ahead and roll your damage. He might not get a turn.
Certainly shall. 17.
Awesome. Hey, great news. Great news about the 2 single point damage this guy took from the tentacle. It matters.
Yes.
So that guy's dead and does not do his thing. So
he
Finn,
just falls
I need
out of
2
the sky.
dexterity saving throws from you. Yeah, he just falls out of the sky.
Bloop.
22 and 23.
Hell yeah.
Epic. You pass both of those. The single remaining spiritual weapon will take a swing at you with disadvantage because this guy is frightened. Wow. One of those was a crit, the other one was not. So that misses. The little ball of lightning swings around at you but does not hit you.
Also, when I get over to my friends, I go, guys, that's my mom!
Huh? I pointed at the blue bitch.
No, on the ship!
Malachi whips around to the ship that he barely even noticed. Because I think he was paralyzed when it was firing, wasn't he?
Uh-huh, and being down in the water, the angle is not good in terms of seeing people on the ship, but yay, you believe Finn. That is Regin's turn.
Okay, I'm going to end my rage, and then... Can you just, give me one more quick rundown of the orientation of our foes?
For sure. At about 40 feet up, there is the blue bitch who is still trapped in a moonbeam. And then there are two cultists, one of whom looks like bloodied and the other one who has not been hit at all. And then 60 feet up, kind of behind them, is the red guy.
Okay. So could I get blue bitch and the two cultists in a 10-foot sphere?
10-foot radius?
Yes.
You can get her and one of the cultists, either the more hurt one or the not at all hurt one.
I'll get her and the not at all hurt one.
Okay.
And I'm gonna upcast Shatter at a 4th level. So con saves, please.
Okay. Okay. They both pass.
Okay. 18 halved to 9.
Okay.
Thunder damage.
Okay. The blue lady only takes half of the half.
Makes sense.
But the cultist takes all of it. Anything else?
Nar.
Okay. The ship is going to fire its 3 shots. It is going to aim the ballistas up at the red guy. Miss with their first one. Hit with the second. So he takes 14. And then they'll aim the mangonel at the blue lady. Ooh, natural 2. Misses with that. She is very kind of like quick on the air and is dodging around their strikes. On her turn, however, you see her kind of like look around down at you guys, and at Finn being like over by Malachi and Regin now instead of isolated on his own. And she looks at the ship that has arrived and the Kraken priest that she's frightened of. And you see her kind of like hold her hand up in the air, and yell, "Retreat! Retreat! This isn't worth it!" And...
Yeah, I'd love a treat, thanks!
Let it be known that before she does that, she has to make a con save.
Okay. She fails.
16 damage.
Okay. So she takes 16 damage and then yells. So even more reason for her to yell, "Retreat." She will move out of the moonbeam and just fly. She actually has a fly speed of 90 feet.
Jesus.
So you see she just, like, books it up and away, kind of diagonally, looking like the goal is to get behind cloud cover. That is Mella's turn. She's still mad. She's gonna Eldritch Blast the red guy.
Yeah!
Who is still within range.
Look at this bitch getting away.
1 hit. So she does... Ooh, good job, girly. 8 damage to him. The Kraken Priest... He sort of, like, he looks back at the captain, and you see her, I guess you guys can't really see her because of the angle, but she must, like, give some indication, because the Kraken Priest turns back, raises up his hand, and makes a, like, pulling down motion, and a bolt of lightning comes from the sky as he casts Call Lightning on the red guy,
nice.
Who is hurt, and it kind of looks like the captain seems to have made the decision, let's try and kill this one. He makes a dex save, which he succeeds, but still takes half. Takes half of 19, so takes 9 lightning damage. He is going to, the red guy continues to fly, yeah, he's just going to continue to try to flee. So he is going to take the dash action. So he's now 180 feet away. I don't know if you guys have anything that hits within that range. But Malachi, that is your turn now. There are still 2 cultists who are very much in range, although they look like they're preparing to follow and leave. Additionally, the blue lady is, although she also dashed, so she is like 220 feet up.
Oh, I thought you said she went 90 feet away.
But I realized she has a fly speed of 90, so with a dash, because she didn't do anything else with her action.
Gotcha. Well, that's unfortunate. So I guess...
How far could Malachi throw me?
Not that far.
Yeah, probably like 15 feet.
I would do it if it were more of a sure thing, Finn, but... yeah, so they... can I get both of them in one now, since they were going for their spiritual weapons, or no?
In one moonbeam?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Con saves.
Okay. Yeah, they both fail.
All right, only 11 damage this time to each of them.
Okay. They're actually both still up.
Damn.
But one of them looks very, very hurt.
All right. I don't think, given that everything is pretty much melee for me, I don't think I can do anything else.
Regin, that is your turn.
Oh, geez, that's me. Yeah, I've got nothing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I skipped Finn. Finn, go ahead and you can take your turn before Regin.
Wow, alright. If you're that excited about it.
I'll allow it.
Okay, well, there's still cultists in range.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the cultists who are still nearby.
Okay. Do you want to go for the very hurt one or the also pretty hurt one?
Ideally, both of them. I would kill
Okay.
the very hurt one with one and then hit the other one with the other.
Okay. Go for it.
18 and 27.
Those both hit. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
That's a 6 and a 9.
Okay, you kill the first one, and then hit the second one for 9 damage. Cool. It is then his turn. I think he's gonna die to Moonbeam, but I will roll for it. Yeah, fails the con save. Malachi, you can roll, but it's...
Yeah, 10 damage.
You would have to roll very, very bad. Yep, no, he's gone.
Like I said, Maelstrom Cult sucks!
You manage to pick them off. They fall from the sky. Okay, now it is your turn, Regin. But if you don't have anything, that's fine. There are 2 combatants that are incredibly far up in the sky.
But now we have 2 fallen corpses in the sea?
Yes.
3, actually.
3, actually.
I'd like to loot the bodies.
Okay, yeah, you swim over, and I will say you can swim over and grab the bodies so they don't sink to the bottom of the ocean.
And give them a little frisky
And you
frisk.
start kind of rifling through pockets. You've only got 6 seconds here, but you start rifling through pockets. The ship is going to take its 3 attacks all at the red guy, and this is...
right.
We're going to see if these hit. First one hits. The first ballista. He takes... good damage. He takes 19 damage.
Nice.
He is very, very badly hurt. Second ballista.
Come on.
Second ballista also hits.
Hell
That's a
yeah.
19. Actually, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I do this right. He's technically in the ballista's long range, so I'm going to count those both together as a roll with disadvantage, which is what they're supposed to be. So the first one with disadvantage hits.
Okay.
Let me roll the second one with disadvantage. Still hits.
Yeah!
I didn't need to do all that. Yeah, hits exactly. And that is... Wow. Terrible damage, as in 7, but that's exactly how many hit points he had left. So you see, as the red one is flying away, you see these 2 ballista bolts, one after another, stick in his back. And he, interestingly enough, no body falls to the ocean. Instead, there is a puff of soot and smoke, and he dissipates.
Bastard.
And the ballista bolts just kind of fall and splash in the ocean.
Damn,
far
I
below.
really wanted to loot his body.
Well, that's not very satisfying.
This means that they actually get a shot at the
Hell
blue
yeah.
bitch with the mangonel with disadvantage because she's within its long range. Okay, that is a 10 to hit, which does not hit her.
Seems like the only magic this bitch is good at is getting away.
And she, after that, on her turn, she does manage. You see her, like, injured and angry, look down at the rest of you, and then takes 90 feet of movement and a 90-foot dash and disappears behind the cloud cover. The Kraken Priest sort of, like, shakes some of the water off of him and looks over to you guys and, like, locks eyes with Finn and does a bow with his arms kind of spread out. The ship glides a little bit closer to you guys. You can see now that this is a, like, dark mahogany ship with the words "The Lanternfish" carved on the side in silver lettering. And you see a woman leans over the railing and looks down at you guys. Malachi and Regin, I think you did see her in Stella's looking glass. So you recognize her from that. Finn, you recognize her from the times you've seen her before then, and she just kind of quickly assesses all of you and then makes eye contact with Finn and lets out like a long sigh and is like, okay, why don't I throw a rope down so you guys can come up here and we can get on our way to your father, huh?
Sounds good to me!
And that's where we will end our session for today. Yeah,
Nice.
Thanks for playing. Sorry. Man, guys, combat when you guys are high level...
That was a
boy.
crisp 3-hour recording.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed that, which we certainly hope you did, you can find us other places on the internet. We are at Ship of Fools Cast on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. You can also find us at patreon.com/Ship of Fools if you'd like to support the show, help us keep making content, and also get access to some of our fun bonus content, such as the Mud Bath, where we sit around and discuss the various events of the show. As always, there are some people we need to thank. Thank you to Lucas Mangold for our beautiful theme music. You can find him at lucascarlmusic@gmail.com for all of your music needs, nautical and otherwise. And thank you also to Theo Golden for our logo art. You can find him at tgoldenart on Instagram. And you can find the next episode of our show on December 27th. We will be here with our special 3rd annual holiday special, where we do a one-shot and mix things up a little bit in a way that you'll have to listen to find out what it is. And then we will be back with our next main campaign episode in the new year on January 10th, 2023. So we will see you then, and until then, we will see you on the open seas. Goodbye!
I always forget how many spells I'm allowed to prep.
Probably all of them is fine. No worries. I don't mind.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't think anyone would have a problem with that.